If you're constantly hanging out for the next holiday just to recover from your business, something's off. Today I want to talk to you about how to build a consultancy that actually feels good to run, one you don't need to escape from, one where you're not dragging yourself to the finish line each year just hoping a break will fix things. Hi, I'm Josh Stone. I spent 10 years as a director and shareholder of a 3 million engineering consultancy that we grew to a 30 million multidisciplinary firm across engineering, town planning, surveying and architecture. And one of the biggest shifts we made along the way was designing the business around how we wanted to work and live, not just chasing more revenue. So in this episode, we're going to unpack 3 things together: how to redesign your days and weeks around high value work, how to intentionally evolve your role instead of staying stuck in the weeds, and how to build a business that can handle you stepping away regularly without things falling apart. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is how to design your weeks around high value time. So most consultancy owners are super busy. They're pulled from pillar to post. They get to the end of their weeks and they feel super tired. So you're busy, but you're actually busy with the wrong things. And so the first thing I want to talk to you about today's episode is really designing your weeks around what we call high value time. So if you get to the end of your week and you're not sure what you've actually accomplished, you feel like you've been doing a whole bunch of things, but you feel like you've been spinning your tires, or you just feel tired and exhausted at the end of the week, but you know that you didn't get any high ticket or big picture things moved forward in your business, that to me is a weekly design issue. That's you being super reactive to everyone else's priorities and demands in the week instead of you intentionally stepping back and going, what's the best use of my time? And how do I design out my weeks to a point where I know that I've got time and space for the high value, big ticket things to move them forward? So high value work as a concept is, it's work that you're good at. It's work that you enjoy. It's the things that you do in your business that genuinely move the business forward. So things like client relationships, big picture meetings, strategy meetings, training your team, spending time with your team on evolving them so they can step up and take things off you. It's the things that you genuinely enjoy. Time moves fast when you're doing it, and you know that when you spend time on high value activities, it moves the business forward in leaps and bounds. Alternatively, you've got low value time. So low value time is admin stuff, it's rework, it's firefighting, it's constantly being pushed and pulled, it's responding to emails, it's picking up phone calls from clients that frustrate you. It's those little bits and pieces that, if you allow it, fill up so much time in your week. And it's stuff that you just tolerate rather than you actually choose to do it. And so the reason for telling you these 2 definitions is most founders or most consultancy owners spend the majority of their weeks in low value activities. Let's be honest. Most people get to the office each day. The first thing they do is they open up their emails. They're responding to stuff that came through overnight. They're sending emails out. You, from the very first moment of entering the office for the day, you are in low value work, responding to other people's priorities. You think about your inbox. Your inbox is when people send you an email, that's their priority landing in your inbox. And so you're allowing other people's priorities to dictate how your day goes. And you're starting your day like that. So most consultancy owners are they spend their whole weeks in low value activities without even realizing it, because it's usually reactive, it's usually urgent, and it's usually someone else's priority. So the aim here is to actually step back and redesign your week so that roughly 80% of your week is spent on high value work and really only 20% is on low value work. So if you think about it, you get to the end of each week, and each week you've spent 80% of your time on big picture things that have moved the business forward. That compounded over a year, 2 years, is going to mean your business is vastly different if you focus on high value time. So how do we make this happen? How do we actually help you get to spending 80% of your week on high value activities? Well, the second thing I want to talk to you about is actually evolving your role in the business. So if you don't evolve your role in the business, you're eventually going to burn out. If your role in the business hasn't changed in years, the business is going to start to feel heavy around you because you're still doing the same things that you were doing 18 months, 2 years ago. The role that got the business started, or the role that you were doing 2 years or 18 months ago, it's really the role that's going to keep your business running long term. We always say to our boardroom coaching clients, I always want your role as the founder and as the owner evolving every sort of 12 to 18 months. And so always looking forward to the next role in the business and going, how do I step into that role as a business owner and build the team and systems and that sort of stuff around me to support me elevating my role. Because if you stay stuck doing everything, because that's what typically happens, like you start or you're running your business and you're wearing all these hats, and instead of letting go of the hats or delegating certain hats in the business, you just take on more. And you just then stay stuck doing everything, and that leads to frustration, resentment towards your business, and fatigue, burnout, all those sorts of things. So what I'd encourage you to do is always be clear on what your next level role looks like in the business in the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months, and always having your focus on that future version of you in the business and going, all right, well, okay, these are all the things that I do in my business right now. Some are high value, some are low value. This is what my role looks like in the next 6 months. How do I get there? And then looking at the team around you and how do you build a team underneath you that isn't like about you stepping back, it's about you stepping up. So if you're going to go from here to the next 6 months and start to elevate your role in the business, you want to have certain people in your team taking things off you. So it's about stepping up, like it's about building out systems and processes and like using software to remove like that low value grunt work so that you can focus on that next version of you, high value activities in the business like leadership, strategy and direction of the business. But it's always about you evolving your role in the business, otherwise you're going to burn out. So the third thing I want to talk about is stop treating holidays as a recovery strategy from your business. Like if you need a holiday to cope with the stress of your business, the business hasn't been set up properly. Like I know so many founders and owners who are like, oh God, I can't wait for that next break. I'm hanging out for my overseas trip. I can't wait to take the family away, those sorts of things. And that to me suggests that the business has not been set up properly. And I know you've got to go through phases to set things up and to hire a team and to build systems and that sort of thing. But if you're constantly treating holidays as a recovery strategy, the business hasn't been set up properly. So like a well-designed business like allows you to step away regularly and not just once a year. Like there's this whole like work super hard all the way through the year, get to Christmas, shut down for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. That's the only time you take off because that's when the industry shuts down. You spend the first week of that stuffed because you're recovering from potential burnout from the whole year. And then finally after a week, you can hang out with your family and your kids again. By the end of the second week, you're starting to feel good and then you're just back into it. So like a well-designed business, like it allows you to step away regularly. So I really encourage like our coaching clients to take like quarterly breaks, like do little mini retreats or just weekends away where, you actually plan out your whole year in advance and go each quarter, I'm going away for a weekend. And whether that weekend is to focus on big picture strategy in the business or just purely for you to switch off, spend time with your family and hang out. But I don't want those breaks to be required due to exhaustion or burnout or fatigue. It's like I'm actually scheduling in mini breaks each quarter so that I as the founder can always stay super energized and super recharged and super focused on the growth of the business. Because like time away from your business, you've experienced it when you go on holidays, when you get into new environments, when the stress from the day-to-day starts to leave your body, like time away creates that space for the big picture thinking. Those new ideas come to you. You get clarity on what's important. You can start to plan without the pressure of all the day-to-day stuff coming through. So taking those mini breaks and having that time off is just super, super important. And, like if things fall away while you're apart, like I've had a couple of clients they set things up well. They had a week off and like that did not go well. But like, take the time off. Like if things fall apart when you're away, like that's just feedback. And that's an opportunity for you to sit with the team afterwards and go, all right, what did we learn? That's not failure, that's just feedback. And I always say you're either winning or you're learning. And so the goal here is not to have a business that you need to escape from. It's to build one that works without you, hovering or having to micromanage the entire thing. So one of the best examples of this comes from two incredible clients that we've been working with, John and Amanda. So for a long time in their business, like they ran a good, solid business. But like most founders or owners, like everything still flowed straight through them, like decisions, delivery, people issues. Taking time off from the business just felt hard. It felt risky, and then like a breakaway usually came with, still having to open up the laptop each morning or an eye on the phone just to make sure things weren't falling apart. So instead of pushing things harder in the business, we actually just focus on redesigning how the business actually operated day to day. So we set out clearer roles for them as founders and also for the team, hired strong sort of senior engineers, we built better systems and rhythm, hiring an ops manager in the business as well. But most importantly, like actually pulling John and Amanda out of the day-to-day low value work that didn't need them anymore. And so yeah, the real test came when they took a proper holiday, like not just a working break or a mini vacation, but proper time off. And they made a commitment to themselves and to the team. We are away. We're not to be contacted. And so they spent a bunch of time setting the business up properly. But the results were incredible. Like the business didn't just survive, like it really ran super smoothly. Like the team stepped up, projects moved forward, clients barely noticed they were away. So like then John and Amanda came back, they were clearer, they were calmer. And the confidence piece is super powerful too, because they were confident in the business they'd built. And that's the shift for me, like moving from feeling trapped inside the business to actually enjoying running it. Okay, so if you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. The goal isn't to build a business you need to escape from. It's to build one that supports the life that you actually want. Start by looking at how your weeks really feel. Get honest about like where your time is going. Redesign your role. Build the team and the systems that let you actually step back without guilt or stress. And if you'd like help building a more efficient and profitable consultancy, one that grows consistently, increases revenue, and gives you the real freedom you want, check out our 10 million plus consultancy roadmap training. So it's a step-by-step guide that'll help you move from wherever you are right now, whether that's 1 million, 3 million, 5 million, or 10 million, and build a business you can be genuinely proud of. You'll find the link to that training below this episode.